Hey everyone, so this will be a channeled message for you and a reading, and it's likely that this is going to find you at a time in your life when I'm hearing that you need to stand up for yourself, that you need to fight for yourself, that you need to remember your worth and remember, value yourself. It's kind of like this warrior energy that is wanting to come up. Now, what I'm seeing is that there might be situations right now, I'm almost seeing like a buffet of all these options, like the Seven of Cups from the tarot. And it's like you have all these options to choose from, and I think you might be even asking yourself or struggling with your ability to choose right now, to decide and to pick a direction, or, it could be multiple decisions, but it's like your ability to decide is almost skewed, and it's coming from this place within where in the past, in your childhood or in even past lives, I'm hearing there's been this pattern where you maybe have gotten in trouble for putting your own needs. You maybe have gotten put down for thinking that, you might have heard like, who do you think you are, going after this goal, or you'll never do that. And it's kind of like something in you maybe shut down your ability to know what your value is and then to make decisions that honor that. So for example, let's say even something with exercise. It's like if you previously promised yourself that you're going to exercise, and then, you wake up the next morning and you think, this person, needs me to answer their call and do something for them. And you've kind of made these micro decisions that have almost like given your own higher self or inner self the message that like their needs are more important than the promises that I made to myself. And where is that even stemming from? Like why, and it's because, there was lacking this energy of, hey, I'm so important, I'm valuable enough, and I honor myself enough to know that my body needs exercise. My body deserves the right diet. It's like that missing piece almost seems to be coming from the, your lack of why, like, and worthiness of your own self. And it's almost repeating itself right now, this pattern in your life where it's like, you're being asked, do you want this one or this one? There's a buffet. Do you want tacos or do you want grilled cheese? And the answer to that would be so simple if you knew and you had this respect and value and groundedness in who you are. If you're like, well, no, I, don't eat. Okay, that was a bad example. I was going to say, don't eat meat. Like I'm a vegan because my values are to, care for the animal world in that way. So let's say you're presented with salad or steak. The decision becomes so easy at that point because you're weighing it against your values and your morals. And that becomes your compass. And so it's almost like the inner compass in you right now is having trouble calibrating because you maybe just need to take the time is what I'm hearing right now. I'm also hearing an interesting channel. I'm filming this shortly after Lionsgate, and the Lionsgate, for many of you might already know, is a time when we set intentions and we have this manifestation power. And what's very interesting is that I'm hearing that many of you guys might have had a lot of trouble with that and not understood why. And the reason is because to set intentions easily and to, put them out to the universe, you need to know, you need to have that clarity first of what you need, of who you are. And then you get this clarity of exactly what your intentions are. But unless you have that, it's going to be this energy of flipping, flip-flopping back and forth. Well, do I need this or do I need that? So very interesting, exactly what I was saying before with the buffet. It's like if you know that you don't eat meat because of your, moral, ethical reasons, then there will never be a buffet that will confuse you when you're being presented with the option of meat or no meat. And so this is really asking you, we have Archangel Jeremiel coming out here. This card is about personal responsibility. Archangel Jeremiel is the Archangel of review, his name means mercy of God. And so the big key that I'm hearing with this is that you're not given these options right now to overwhelm you. You're not being given these decisions because, you can't make them. You're being given these opportunities. You have a multitude of blessings, and I'm hearing that all you need to do is to review what your own moral compass is. That's why they call it a moral compass, right? Because it will guide you. You don't need to, find the answer of what's best for me out there by kind of going through pros and cons and all of that. What you need most right now is to come back to your needs and your truest desires and to honor those. And decisions will become much simpler for you because you'll have that compass again that will actually naturally lead you. And so what I'm seeing in your past, we have this spirit animal card coming out here. Oh, I wanted to say about Jeremiel is that he comes in with this energy of mercy. His name means mercy of God. And so he's not here to shame and blame you and say you made the wrong decision here or there or whatever it is. He's here to give you this compassionate lens, but this lens where you're able to actually learn. We have the study and learning card coming out. And so this is all about you learning what you actually want, not which decision is best, because that's going to be a natural kind of flow and outcome and consequence of you knowing your own morals. The other thing is, if you're asking, is this the right path for me? A lot of that might be stemming from you doubting. The real question you might be asking is not, is this my calling? Is this my mission? Or anything like that, but it could be, can I actually do this? And that's coming back to that question of maybe before someone had told you, who do you think you are, right? Something like that, or something got into your head where you're like, oh gosh, I'm not worthy of this. And so this is all coming from this ability to love and accept yourself and to get to know yourself. You're being asked right now to go within and to actually ask your heart, not your ego mind, not the intellect, but to ask your heart, what are your needs? This animal spirit card that was coming up in your past, it's first of all, for some of you guys, this, because I mentioned the vegan example as well as the spirit animal card coming up, this could really even just be someone who has a purpose to help animals in some way, or someone who's really connected to the animal kingdom. And if that is something that you've been deciding, or maybe you've been, I'm getting another channel that's saying maybe you've been asking yourself if you should be getting a pet right now, and this is a confirmation of yes. But if it's not, so specifically and, obvious like that in terms of the animal kingdom, what this card is telling me, and the message for you right now, is that there's somewhere where you've ignored your instincts. Again, animals don't really overthink when they're doing things. They're in tune with nature. They know what their needs are and they act on those needs. And if there are people-pleasing tendencies that have been part of your past programming and conditioning, then again, it's have you put everybody else's needs in front of your own? And this is asking you to, with Jeremiel, it's saying don't be so harsh on yourself. Have compassion for yourself and recognize what your needs are. And so, the other thing is that Archangel Jeremiel is the Archangel of forgiveness. He helps us forgive others and forgive ourselves. And forgiveness is one of those energies that is very liberating, because when we hold on to anger and resentment and, I'm getting this feeling of injustice, when we get stuck on that, it doesn't allow us to move forward, because we it sends our body, our energy, this message that, something needs to be corrected. There needs to be course correction. The, scales need to tip before I can do anything. And so oftentimes getting stuck in an energy of, not being willing to let go, to forgive yourself is such a big one, or to forgive others for maybe, being super harsh or rigid around you, or, people who were domineering, who made decisions for you that kind of took your power away, whatever it might be. This is not meant to, suppress those or to say that wasn't, the case, but this is telling you right now that if you can forgive, and Archangel Jeremiel is here to help you with that energy of forgiveness. If you can forgive yourself for, maybe times when you didn't know what you wanted or who you really were, you didn't act on your best interests. And if you can forgive others who, maybe there was some sort of injustice or who just didn't put your needs before yours, before theirs, sorry. If you can just tap into this energy of forgiveness, I'm hearing that this is going to propel you forward. This is going to allow you to make, quote unquote mistakes, because the energy that's needed right now is an energy of trial and error. It's an energy of, this opportunity is calling to me. This feels right. This feels aligned. Again, you have to be really grounded and centered and aware of your values to be able to trust this instinct. But even if it turns out to be the wrong decision, whatever that actually means, your ability right now to take that risk, to take a chance on yourself, to try new things and fail, just try it and see if it works for you, to be open, to be flexible, to trust your own self, really, and to know what your needs are. That's all going to be very heavily dependent and intertwined with the energy of forgiveness. And not only forgiveness of the past, but there needs to be this willingness right now to bring the energy of forgiveness along with you for the ride right now. So you're being asked really to take that, opportunity that's being presented to you, to know and feel that it's aligned, and then to take it, as far as you can, but not to, just leave all the decisions open and then you end up really because you still are making a decision, but you end up making this perpetual decision not to decide, to procrastinate your life, to, procrastinate your purpose and your potential. So instead of, making that decision over and over and over again, this energy of forgiveness is asking you to take it along for the ride, to try this, to try that, and to have some mercy for yourself. If something doesn't go well, to use that as information, as data, and to be aware enough throughout the process to be able to constantly, weigh against your morals, which are so deeply ingrained in you, and your authentic needs and knowing who you are, that, you're going to be able to flow a little bit more. And when you're in flow, you're going to regain this spirit animal energy where you can follow your instincts, where you can move with, this certainty of using your morals again as your compass. And I'm hearing that, you're not meant to deprive yourself. You're not meant to wait until the perfect moment. Like spirit, the universe, God has gifts that they are trying to give to you, and you not accepting them is going to just, it doesn't do anything for anyone. But in order to, explore these gifts, you're going to need to pick a box. I'm seeing gift boxes. It's like, okay, the analogy I'm getting right now, it's imagine that it's, Christmas morning or any sort of holiday. I'm just seeing this tree, right, with all these gifts underneath. And you come downstairs and you're so excited, and you know that you've been expecting a certain gift, let's say, and it's in one of those boxes. So you have two options. Number one is to pick a box, open it, see if the gift is in there and decide yes or no, right? And the other option is to sit, and stare at the boxes and try to, say, send me a sign, which box is it? Or, are you sure this is the right one? Pros and cons. This one, looks bigger than the other, so it seems like that could have the gift that I want. No, you're going to sit there and kind of ruminate over which one it might be, only to limit your options to just one, which may or may not have the prize that is meant for you. And so these options that you're being presented right now, it's like you're being invited to explore, to open up each gift box and decide. It doesn't have to be a whole process, but make this quick decision. Does this align with me? If not, say no and put that aside. If maybe, by the way, say, I'm going to get back to this on this date. And if yes, go for it. Go for it. And also, if you say yes at first and then you realize, hey, I learned something along the way, this is actually not for me, then the learning, again, this study and learning card is super important to you right now. So you're meant to explore. It's like, the message coming from Spirit is really, I'm hearing that you're meant to be merging these energies and these needs of your sacral chakra, which is the home and the abode of your inner child. The inner child is playful and creative and expects gifts and, explores and jumps in and partakes in life, get your hands a little messy and try. How do you know if something is for you if you don't, explore and try? Yet, you're also being asked to merge this with the solar plexus energy, which is your inner adult. Your inner adult knows, and your center of authenticity knows exactly what your morals are, exactly what your needs are, and is determined to meet those needs. And so merging those two allows you to have this playful, open, flexible, mindset and energy, while still having the discernment. And so you don't have to necessarily worry about whether or not you will make the right decision, so long as you take those morals with you, so long as you establish, what is important to you, what matters to you. And then from there, you're able to, we have Archangel Haniel coming in. Archangel Haniel is, firstly, her name means grace of God. She is the archangel who will bring grace into our lives. But she's also the archangel who helps us connect with our emotions and who's deeply, by the way, connected to the moon. And so, being connected to the moon means that you have these intuitive instincts, that you're able to use your intuition as a guide. And so ultimately, Haniel is saying that if you can, do everything that I was mentioning before, you'll be, and also if you can kind of stay in the awareness of, number one, how you're feeling and how you want to feel, right? Which comes from knowing what you want and who you are. And ultimately the answer is always joy. You want to feel not fleeting joy, but you want to feel more purposeful and satisfied. And anyway, you determine that. But Haniel is saying that if you can stay connected to your emotions throughout this process, this decision-making process, and honestly throughout your life, then, you'll be able to make those decisions with ease. You'll be able to trust yourself, and you'll be able to have the awareness in the moment when you're, flexible and exploring and, trying new things. You'll be able to have this in the moment thermometer or kind of barometer of, is this right for me or not? Am I, veering from my level of joy? Is my vibration lowering, or is it, is my frequency getting, more and more elevated? And so it's very, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not necessarily easy to do this because of all the external influences around us, but it is quite simple. If you use your morals as your compass and your awareness as the tool that's going to moment to moment let you know if you're on the right path or not, then decisions, become quite simple. Again, not easy, but simple. And so I'm seeing, where is this all taking you? What's the highest outcome? And we have Archangel Metatron coming out. Number one, Archangel Metatron is the Archangel of sacred geometry. And so if you can imagine this energy of like all of the spaces, all of the energies around you, all of other people's energies that are kind of maybe stuck in your field. He has this energy and this ability to work with the angels of sacred geometry and to shift and tweak all of those in miraculous ways. He also helps us clear our space so that we can make decisions from this very clear, grounded energy where our field is sacred to us and it is our guiding compass. And so you getting back in touch with your feelings, giving yourself mercy as you go throughout this process, and recognizing what your values are, and then deciding, what do I actually want? Because, anything is possible, but you have to know what you're going for in order to really put your finger on it. Again, that clarity is needed to manifest anything that you want. You're always manifesting, but to get what you actually want, you need to know what you want first. And so Metatron is the energy, coming out as your highest outcome here, is this energy of clarity, ultimately, of, the other thing with Metatron is that he's also the Archangel of time, like, our perception of time. A lot of you guys, you might even have these, I'm hearing external influences that are guiding you, saying that you don't have enough time. You have to make this decision now because otherwise it won't be, anything to do with time. You're too old, you're too young, you're too this, you're too that. Any of those limitations, Archangel Metatron coming out as your highest outcome position is telling me that you'll be able to almost like shift and expand or contract time and space once you get into this energy of clarity. And that's all about being in the vortex, right? And you'll see, this energy, this Eight of Wands is going to actually end up, whereas right now it's kind of making you flustered and making you feel overwhelmed by all of the speed and momentum. What's going to happen when you actually clear your field is that this energy is going to work in your favor. This energy, the Eight of Wands, is going to speed up time in your favor or slow down time. And miraculous, time, miracles are possible once you get into that clear space. So if that's the big issue that's stopping you from making a certain decision, Archangel Metatron is coming here to clear all of that away so that there are no limitations in the 3D between time and space as we see it. But he's here to kind of reassure you that all of that is going to be taken care of. You just focus on your morals and what your needs are and who you are and what gifts you have to give to this world. That's the other thing, is that a lot of you, maybe many of you know that that your mission, what your mission is, or what really lights up your soul, right? Most of us have some idea, even if it's so deep inside, of like, I just wish if da-da-da-da, insert every excuse in the book, didn't exist, then I would do this. Well, is that, maybe that's authentically who you are, and all of those limitations, Archangel Metatron is here to kind of shut those down so that you can just allow yourself to go for it. Allow yourself to go for it and know that you have the discernment there now, right, to guide you appropriately. So, with all that said, I want to pull a card. We're going to pull from the Ask Your Guides deck, and we're just going to ask your guides how they can support you or what you need to know. Okay, perfect. That's awesome. So the first card coming out is Devotion, and these are the nature spirits, and that's exactly, what a perfect summary. So first of all, nature is very key. And again, this is about physical nature, about animals, yes, but it's also about coming home to your true nature. And it's also about, there's an opportunity almost for you to re-sync with the cycles of nature here. And when you're in nature, nature really opens up that heart chakra, right? It's very, nature is the color green, and it's the energy of abundance, and it's so giving and loving and kind and compassionate and nurturing in its natural form, right? And so being in the energy of nature, it's kind of such a great way to reconnect you with your true nature, and also with this energy of being able to give. And of course, the highest form of that is not just meeting your own needs, but then it's this energy of devotion. And this card coming out, what your guides want you to know is that get back in touch with your nature. And determine what you're devoted to, and watch as time and space and all these other limitations or this or that dissipate. So focus on your devotion. What are you devoted to? And, I'm hearing and seeing like these kind of lightning flashes of inspiration are just going to come to you. You won't have to struggle as much to find them and then determine if they're right for you. So this is just telling me that this is all a very natural process, and that is really the message here today. So get back in touch with your nature, with your needs, with your compass, and really allow it to guide you is what this is saying. So that is the reading for today, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.